What's going on? Happy Wednesday. It's officially hump day, and this is officially the Love and Business on Lock podcast. I am the franchise Jay Claxton, and this beautiful lady to the left of me goes by the name of Dr. Cass Vaughn. What's up?
Nothing. What's going on?
All right. Can you smile? Can you do something like that?
Not a great day.
No, any day that we here is an absolute great day.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not happy to be alive, but I do have an opinion. It hasn't necessarily been the best day for me.
Okay. All right.
So can't discount how I feel.
No, we built for it though, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We built for it. So we are here. It is Wednesday. We came to give some food to some folks. Couples, singles, entrepreneurs, just anybody that wants to actually, take and be better, because really it's about being better each and every day. It's about us growing each and every day.
So today we have three dynamic women. They call themselves the Relationship Boosters. And for anyone who has not followed them on Instagram, please go and follow Relationship Boosters. We have Caroline, Monica, and Dr. Kia. And when I tell you that they are amazing human beings, they are amazing. So this is actually the first time we've actually done it multi-screen, which I am so excited about. So I hope I bring everybody in properly. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Hello.
Wow.
I hope I do it right.
How y'all doing?
You're doing well. Thank you.
Yes.
It's officially hump day, so we just gotta making sure you're good. And we want to give folks the food. We brought you ladies in to give us the food, give our viewers some relationship food. That's what I like to say. That info is like food. We need to consume that meal on a regular basis in order to be good. So that is the reason why we have we have you guys here. That's the reason why.
So talking about relationships and love, right? Today marks 40 years of hip hop. So I have a question for you guys. When did you fall in love with hip hop? I know the answer. I know my answer. But I'll let you guys know.
Wow.
That's a hard question. I don't even know. I'm just thinking about music comes to my mind.
I feel like the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to hip hop for me is like BBD.
Okay.
And there's probably stuff way before that, but for some reason that's what popped into my mind because that was the whole infusion of like the dance music and the rapping and so I don't know what year that was,
Right.
but I do remember having a good time.
I want to really 80s. Say that's late 80s, early
90s.
90s.
Wow, you're just so cool.
I really was in high school.
So, I didn't where I was, so.
And I want to say it was my junior year.
No,
it is. I can tell you exactly why. Because BBD was around the same time as Kwame, and Kwame came to when our junior year fashion show. Kwame performed.
Okay. You had the polka dots on.
Yeah, he performed on the year. Yeah, he performed on the year.
That was a good. He was good too.
Yeah.
All of it was good. It was.
Yeah.
So definitely high school time frame.
Right.
All right, Doc.
I would say probably late high school, early college. I might get booted back to the backstage. if I admit, well, I grew up in New York, in Brooklyn, so you think, I grew up around more Caribbean music than than hip hop. So I would
If
say
you grew up in Brooklyn, you absolutely did. You grew up around more Caribbean than you did hip hop. And people don't realize that unless you really, really know about hip hop, about New York. I mean, if you grew up in Harlem or you grew up in Brooklyn, you grew up around more Caribbean than you did hip hop. That's a fact. So you won't
oh
get
good.
booed.
So this is my
You won't
saving
get
grace. I don't get kicked to the back right now.
No.
Shoot, I'm gonna need an excuse too, Caroline. I don't know. My mind has like been all over. I'm like in the '80s, and then I bring it back to like I hear like Lil Kim or like some.
Right. That's the 90s.
So, yeah. So I think the '90s comes into mind to me for for the most part. But yeah.
Right.
Got you. Jay, when did you fall in love with hip hop?
I know the exact time. I know the exact place. I don't know the exact date. Um, Early 80s. Dude that was a little older than me lived down the street, and actually at that time, my parents lived in West Baltimore. Had a house. They rented a house from my grandparents in West Baltimore. Um, and I came outside, and guy was down the street had a radio. He said, "You got any music? Go bring some tapes outside, and let's listen to some music." So I brought the tapes out. The tapes had like Hall and Oates and that sort of thing, because that's what my parents was listening to. That's what my father listened to.
Yeah.
And the dude said, "No, I'm talking about some hip hop bebop stuff." And he put a tape in, and that absolutely changed my life. I mean, that absolutely from that day forth, I was a fan. I was already going to buy records and 45 and things of that nature of just regular R&B. Like I bought all kind of stuff. Yes, owner of a Lonely Heart on 45, the Michael Jackson, all this stuff I bought on 45. But
Oh.
the day he said that, it changed my life. My first rap record was Nucleus Jam on It on 45.
Ah.
Jam on it. Jam, that first 45 rap 45 that I ever bought, and from that point on, I have been gone. I've been gone. Like I
I'm
remember
glad
that
he's saying it because I didn't
specifically.
So for
Jam
me,
on it.
Right.
so for me, it's a little bit different. Even though I was born in Baltimore, I every summer had to go to New York, and so I can tell you exactly what year it was. I can tell you where I was, and everything. And what happened was I watched the transition. Right, so it was around 1983. I was 9 years old. Right. And I remember the summer before, we would go to Bailey Park in Jamaica, Queens, and I play basketball, whatever the case may be, and you were just playing. So then 84, I come back for the summer with my grandparents, and now it's guys with turntables out in the park. I mean, big. And I was like, oh, wait, what's this? So instead of us going to play in the park, we went to listen to the music and watch that. So that is when I would say I fell in love with hip hop.
So you were there after the big riot, and they stole all the gear, and then everybody became DJs and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened. They had everybody, they looted.
Which is interesting because I don't want you to go too deep in that conversation, because one of our very good friends, right, who is a DJ, right, that we've seen in the last 30 days, right, on the West Coast, right, was in that riot.
This is right.
And it's funny because me and him had a conversation, not about when we fell in hip hop, but we were talking because he grew up not too far from where my grandma's house was. And so as we were reminiscing, he brought that point up, and I was like, oh my goodness. So that's why I was like, yeah, don't go too deep into that one.
And you know what? I think that this was a great segue, and get a great segue to kind of move into some things we really want to talk about. And she brought up hip hop, and I love the art form. I've loved the art form since I was introduced. 80, 82, 83. I've been in love with it, but I've watched it change. I've watched you know, in those early 80s, people were really rhyming and rhymes mattered and things of that nature. Then you go mid to late 80s and they were teaching us something. It was a black power movement. It was we black, we're proud, you know, let's stand for something, you know, let's not kill each other, let's not do any of that. Then it changed from that to you know, we tough guys, you know, we're talking about the neighborhood and what goes on in the neighborhood as far as, you know, gangs, drugs, alcohol, that sort of thing. And right now, I just wanna find out, what do you think, what do you think the influence is with hip hop and us as black people dealing with significant others and relationships? And I say that because I listen to in the music, they call our women a word that I would never call a woman. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to figure out, do you guys have an opinion on how hip hop influences, you know, relationships and how we deal with our significant others?
That's kind of funny because me and my husband just had a conversation about this the other day. And basically, because so I grew up part of the time in the South, and you know we had Luke, and you know Luke is
Right.
wild. So and just talking about even that music, like when you would listen to that and enjoy it, and you know even though he's talking about like you know calling people derogatory names, all this kind of stuff. But it's not, I didn't feel like he was talking about me. It wasn't connected to me, which is good music. So, and I don't think that influenced my relationships. And I don't think it influenced the relationships with the people that I had around me either, because we had influences of relationships like in real life. So this was art and music. This was not necessarily, you know, this didn't impact. It's kind of like watching Love and Hip Hop on TV. You know, it's like, that is the most, you know, as far as relationships are concerned, that you know that is not, that's entertainment. That's not real life. When you, especially when you have real people in your corner that you know what relationship looks like, so you can see that as entertainment. But I do think there is a subset of the population that might see that and maybe they do have that around them, or they think that that's normal, and so that may have an influence on, you know, how they view relationships and how they may interact with their partner, which could be problematic. So I really think it depends on the person, their background, you know, and what, you know, what influences them and how attached to that they really are. So like I said, you know, I can listen to Luke, and Luke is talking some, you know, I know that ain't me, but you know, I'm that's it.
Right. You know? But you know, Luke only he might have said hoe and he cursed and he talked about sex, but it never was bitch. It wasn't that, you know, and it's crazy. I tried to go get a haircut, and just in the barber shop, the word, and I had to say I don't use that word because I have a lady, I have a daughter, I have a mother, I have a grandmother. I am not. I just, that word does something to me. The only time that word is used when we're talking about somebody's attitude, you know, like you may say that was some bitchness, you know, but we're not calling a woman that, because y'all the key to this. Y'all the key to all of this. Y'all the key to life. Y'all just the key to the family. So, and I think that the problem is, like you said, you had examples of black love and what love and relationships and that sort of thing meant. Now, where's the examples coming from? I mean, it's the music is raising the kids. Music is raising the kids now. You know, and like it just it really is. If you ask my opinion, you know, if you ask my opinion.
I would definitely say that. Well, I think if we have some people that are paying attention to even some of these artists that are a little, the music is definitely more loose. is definitely more, can be definitely more derogatory. But I think that if people were actually paying attention to some of these artists, they would see like it's almost like a double life. So they, they're talking all that game and the bitchs or whatever, but they are married, or they they have people that you don't see, or they have wifey type figures. And that they cherish, and daughters and things like that too. So it's almost like a double life. If people would pay a little bit more attention, they might be able to see that it's entertainment. And are they giving you what they think that you want to hear, right? Or is
So
that
it's like wrestling.
you saw it wrestling?
It's like wrestling. It's like
WWE.
Okay. All right.
But I feel like also it's different because hip hop is powerful. Like it's the music, it's the clothing, it's the images. It's very powerful. So and I think that that's true with most entertainment, right? Like wrestling. But in Black culture, it's something that connects people too. So like the music keeps people connected. You can talk about the music. Anytime you go into a situation where there's mostly Black people, y'all can connect around when you grew up based on who was out at that time, what you were wearing. So I think that it's because my husband and I, we connect around music. Like that's something that we enjoy doing. We like going to concerts. We like hip hop, neo soul, and so I just think that it's also a way that we connect and understand one another and embrace our culture. It's a part of our culture, which is very important too.
Right.
So I kind of look at it like that more so than I think there are some negative influences within it, and so just like with any art, you have to make sure you know what you're allowing into your mind and how you're processing that, and then how you deal with that in real life. Because the kids, if you have children, all of that is impacted, but you can't allow the artist and what's going on the stage to raise your children.
Right. So Monica, you talked about how you and your husband connect. How important is it to keep that connection, or to keep well, I know it's important to keep that connection, but how important is it to work on that connection? And what tips would you give people to, how they could work on their connection and, really boost their relationship?
I like how you you use our name of our company. Yeah, it's very important. Wholly important. It's like the glue. So we often talk about emotional connection to people, about how to stay connected, how to how the emotional connection is the important thing that keeps the relationship going. And it does require you to be present and to be intentional and work on that regularly. If not daily, definitely weekly, every other day. There are things that people can do daily to stay connected. And it may sound small, but it's very powerful. So, how you greet each other in the morning is very important. How you show appreciation, how you talk to one another. All of these things go a very long way, either positive or negative. So if you wake up in a bad mood and you snap at your husband, that's pretty much going to be the tone that is set for the rest of the day. And he's not going to want to kiss you or be intimate with you based on, how you have come off to him. So I think that how you show up for each other every day is part of that connection. I think Carol Ann and Kia can definitely also talk to that as well, or speak to that as well. But it seems like lately that one of the major tips I've been giving couples is, be proactive about how you spend time together. Be proactive about planning things, doing things together, but also how you come off. So the responsibility you have towards yourself is to recognize how you may be coming off to your partner and think about what you can do to work on you in that aspect.
Right. Well, I think we just went through that. I think we just went through that.
So I wasn't
lady.
gonna say that, but
No,
we
listen,
did.
look.
I wasn't.
We are here. I think the great thing about the podcast is I know that as we talk to, our guests, we are usually we are always very transparent, because that's where the growth comes in at. And I learned from the podcast, and she'll give me a quiz later. Well, what did you think about the podcast?
That's not a quiz. I'm
No. Well, did you gather anything from the podcast today? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, let me just speak and press a little bit, but um it's I think that as I'm saying it to you ladies right now, and she says it to me, whenever you have something going on with another part of your family or dealing with just other things, and I ask you a question and you kind of snap, and um that's never been the intention. That's never been the intention. But I know sometimes I will look for her. I tell her everything. So sometimes when I tell her everything, then it'll come back on me because I just tell her everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she knows that, and she knows that's one great thing about our relationship. We don't really keep conversations or anything away from each other. Now we may try to check the timing of it. She's going through something, so I may not want to have this particular conversation right at this particular time, but we will have it. But I know that sometimes maybe I come across a little aggressive when some things have gotten to me, and
That has nothing to do with me. Let's be clear.
well, and she knows though. She knows, and sometimes she'd be like, "Well, you don't seem like you necessarily in a good mood. I'm gonna let you go ahead and handle your handle. I'll talk to you later." Which will give me time to kind of, because I don't hold on to grudges or anything like that. I just need a second to let me be mad for about 15, 20 minutes. Give me a half an hour to be mad and cuss and say a bunch of filth, flaw, and filth, and then usually I'm okay after that. Give me a second. Let me listen to something. Let me do some homework, and then I'll be back to normal. But we talk so much. We're together a lot, and if we're not together, we're checking in with each other 20 times during the day. And sometimes it may happen. And I think our biggest thing is I may not I will apologize when I think I'm wrong. But if I don't think I'm wrong, I'm not apologizing.
So, but
Toughness.
so it's not about apologizing if you're right or wrong for me, because an apology to me, and you all can let me know if my thinking is off.
Be
Is
on my side. No, I'm playing.
It's not really.
It was funny.
It wasn't. Apology for me is more so of if I'm apologizing, right or wrong about the situation, I'm apologizing for how I made you feel in the situation. Not necessarily, oh, you turned left and you should have turned right. I'm apologizing if my tone was of a level of disrespect or if I felt like you probably didn't deserve what I gave you. So my apology is not about the situation, but it's about how I make my partner feel. So if I feel like I made you feel a certain way, and or if you say I didn't like how you responded or talked to me, I'm gonna apologize because I can't discount how I make you feel. You know, so that I think that's the challenge for me. I'm always gonna apologize because I don't want him to feel a certain way. So my apology is for that, not necessarily the situation. And so it's not reciprocated, and that's bothersome to me because we both live to try to become the better version of each other for for the for the other person, and it's just something that's constant. And I'm like, it got to be a compromise. We can't. I can't work on certain things, and you don't. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a compromise. So that's what my apology is about. You know.
And feeling like his apology is the opposite of that.
No. He's not gonna apologize.
Oh,
So he doesn't. So his thing is he doesn't care about how it made me feel, right? Which if he thinks that he's yes, it is because yes, it is, and I'm gonna explain why it's true. He doesn't care how something made me feel. He's only gonna apologize if he is right or wrong. If he's wrong, he's gonna apologize. He could be a 1,000% right about what he's saying, but if how if his delivery made me feel negative, and I say, hey, I don't like that didn't make me feel good, he's not gonna apologize because I felt a certain way. So that's why I say it doesn't matter how I feel. He goes by right or wrong.
okay. So after the, go ahead, Keith.
I was going to ask is that right?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I'm not. If I'm wrong, she knows I'm saying, yo, you were right, babe. You were right. I was wrong. I messed that one up. My fault. I will be accountable for that. If we kind of like, I don't know, and that's not necessarily in combat mode. You know what? And I think that, and as we're talking and I'm listening, I have to do a better job as well. I'm telling her how things make me feel. I don't think I do. I think I just, when she talks, she'll talk passionately, unless, she'll talk passionately. What she will do is, if it's a real serious subject, she'll take her time, think about how to present it, and present it so it won't seem like she's attacking. But um, if if we're talking and she's passionate, sometimes it sounds like it's attacking. If she attack, I'm attack back, and then, I'm gonna defend, and then it'll go left. And we had, a few hours or an hour or two before we got on. That's kind of what happened, and that was kind of what we both were talking about. And I probably need to do a better job as well as saying, hey, the way you coming off is making me feel a certain kind of way. I don't necessarily say that because I just kind of take it. I kind of take it and then just go, because I ain't really necessarily complaining about it. I'm just going to take it and put it all on my shoulders, and if it feel like it's attacking, then I'm gonna respond. Where not, I'm attacking. We're not cursing or nothing, but I'm gonna attack with some. I'm gonna come back with some passion. You know.
So I will say this before they comment. You have done that. You have said, hey, I feel like you're attacking. And as soon as you say that, what do I say? I apologize. I didn't mean to seem like I was attacking. I'm trying to say X, Y, and Z. And I'll also say, maybe I said it the wrong way, because at that point, to the point that I've been making all day, is once you tell me how I've made you feel, then the only thing that I can do is apologize for that, because I can't discount how I make you feel. It's my job not to make you feel a certain way so that you can understand what the conversation better.
Ladies, you got the floor there. And I know that was a lot to unpack. I'm sorry.
That was cool.
And I apologize because I really was going to this question. He actually brought this on the table.
Yeah.
I just was going to deal with it later, but I apologize.
No, I'm gonna
no. So if you guys usually have these types of conversations after, right? Like you take the time afterwards to come back and say, hey, this is what went on during that disagreement, or during that argument or whatever, and this was what was going on for me. That's actually a healthy thing to do after you guys have those types of interactions. One, because it's both of your jobs to really understand the other person's triggers, right? And the things that rub the other person the wrong way, not so that you can use it for evil, but so that you can really try your best, when things are hot again, to avoid them, right? So this is good if this is something that you do already when you have some disagreements. If this is not what you normally do, I would encourage you to keep doing it and actually tap into, hey, this thing, when you said that, what was going through my mind was this. I'm sorry that it came off that way. And, yeah, get the apology in there. But definitely talk about how it even got to the point that it got to in the first place, so y'all can do better the next time. Because it's not that disagreements aren't going to come up. It's how you're going to deal with them as you move forward and still keep the thing in the back of your mind that this person loves me and this is just a hard topic, or, did you really, was that a little bit of an eye roll? Did he tap you or something?
It was an eye roll because I was thinking about something. I'm sorry, my face talks. Like my face talks. I apologize.
Mine too.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, he didn't even do anything, but my face talks. Because in my mind, I was sitting there listening to you thinking about someone else who was on the podcast a few months back. And in the conversation, what they said, and I'm talking about Trinice and Greg, what the advice that the husband gave to Jay was, man, when you mess up, you really, 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 really gotta fix the situation. And as I'm listening to you, the eye roll came like, here we go again, you know. But I didn't mean it. It just
to
came
address
out.
the situation and
Yeah.
not like just let it stay there or
Right.
get swept under the rug. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's important. I
I
think
think
that,
the content and then there's a process going on at the same time. So it's like, you're talking about what you're talking about, but then there's all these emotions and all these things that are under the table that are still in the conversation too. And I think that those things do have to be addressed, like making sure that both of you know that you care about not harming each other, so that it changes the dynamics of the conversation. Like you guys can disagree on something and still feel like you support one another and still feel like you care about how each other feels. So you don't feel like you're enemies, because whenever it gets to that point where you feel like, oh, we're enemies, it can change like how the conversation can go. And then you can end up in a conflict, versus if you are feeling like you both care about each other, but this topic is just a tough topic, then it can go in a different direction. You can still have the disagreement about the topic, but still know that, look, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, and that's not my goal. I really want to have a conversation with you, and I want to continue to be able to have conversations. So I think like addressing both of those things is important.
yeah,
I think,
it's definitely. Sorry.
oh, I'm sorry. I think as you were talking, I was listening, and so we don't have a lot of we don't have we really don't argue a lot, right? When I say we don't argue a lot, like that's not just that's not who we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as you were talking and I was listening, what I realized is I was thinking about the different situations. And the only time I will honestly say that it gets heated or anything like that is because Jay is a great guy. He's a great human being. He's a great person. He really is, right? Um, I think the only and because he is, and Jay is a people pleaser, right? So the only time we have those type of discussions is when, and I actually said it in our conversation earlier when we were going through our challenge earlier. I said to him, I have to be able to tell you how something makes me feel. So the only time we really have to have a conversation or we have a challenging conversation is because he doesn't. I think, and I do. My PhD is not in psychology, so this is just me saying, what I think. So I believe that it's he doesn't because he cares about me so much and because he loves me so much, he doesn't like to hear if I say something makes me feel negative. Because ultimately his job and those are his words. his job or what he wants to do is to make sure that I'm good and I'm in a great place. So I think that whenever I express, be it he dealing with something else or whatever the case may be, if I express um, discomfort in a relationship, then it becomes he takes that automatically as attack, and I'm just trying to explain how I feel or how something made me feel or why I said something because something made me feel a certain way. So he automatically takes that as attack and not as information.
Yeah, and it can be challenging when you're in that place where you may be heightened emotionally. So, I know Jay, you said that you want your opportunity to have your reaction. So
Right.
you know that about yourself, and you know that you need to have a minute. I think that that's important that you do have that insight about yourself and that awareness, because, and I think that that's healthy too. That you want to have your response. It may not be the response that Dr. Casey would like, um, but I think it's fair to be able to have your reaction, have your response, but also think about how you're coming off in the midst of that response. The other side to that is to be able to, validate one another. So I know we were talking about apologies, but I think it's also important to think about how you can validate. Think about one thing that you can say in the midst of trying to reconcile. Say something that you can understand about why she may be feeling how she's feeling.
Right.
But I
And,
do think having your response and your reaction helps you to calm down so that you can come back to the conversation in a calm manner and then talk about it. Because it's
because
hard to hear when you're in that state.
it's
So,
funny because I don't when I think about it, um like you unless you rarely see emotion out of me, um unless I feel like I'm getting attacked, I'm not, even when problems kind of come or somebody does something to me, to us, I really, my thought, my first thought is, let's take the emotion out of it and let's deal with it after the emotion is done. You know what I'm saying? And because we tend to sometimes make wrong decisions, just people in general tend to make wrong decisions when they are um, making a decision out of emotions. So you can kind of take the emotions out of it and really break down whatever it is, and then you can make a real conscious decision on how to move forward or how to deal with the situation. A lot of times when we have this, we having that, and I feel like I'm getting attacked, I automatically do this. I actually defend, um, and as I'm breaking it down, I have to do better with, if I feel like she's attacking instead of me defending. Hey, sound like you're attacking me. You know, can you? I need to probably just say that. And I think that will get us, get us a lot further. Really get us a lot further because, and at the end of the day, we both are trying to make sure each other is actually good, and it's a lot of moving parts, together on her side, in my side, in us together. Whole lot of moving parts. You know what I mean? Whole lot of moving parts, and we're trying to really make sure everybody's good. Like you said, I'm kind of like a people pleaser by nature, and then she tries to really help everybody if somebody is in need. So sometimes that can be a hindrance to both of us into the relationship. You know what I mean? It really can be. Really can be.
Yeah, and the thing that stands out to me is that you're saying that when you feel like there's an attack, you're defending yourself, like, you're ready to defend, which is actually, a response that we see many times. And many times we try to help people to not necessarily have that response, especially if, you go back into, you think about, like, we're actually on the same page, and in real life, like, we support each other and we're really trying our best to be there for each other. So it's almost like if you have that opposite response of like coming in instead of pulling away, like let me protect myself and make sure that I get my point across. Like as opposed to having that stance, like coming in and you're like, you know what, I'm here with you, you know, through whatever this time is. Many times that's a like a missed opportunity sometimes to connect, because then it's like if we're both in this space and I can feel what you're feeling and you feel what I'm feeling, like it can bring you to a deeper level of connectedness. Even if, you know, because it's really the topic, you know, it's not that y'all don't have love for each other. It's not that evaporates, like it's still there. It's like, how can you kind of like flip it and use that opportunity as a way to connect? Because then you can have deeper conversations about it and feel, you know, more comfortable or at ease going like, just going deeper and really expressing one another's like concerns and even like where your defensiveness is coming from. Right. Because then that helps her to be able to even think about it the next time she brings it up to you. Right. So maybe she can approach that differently, and then that might even help you to know, like, okay, I know that this is a sensitive topic, so even though it might be coming off as an attack, she may not necessarily mean it that way. So let me try to like decipher what it is that's really going on.
Right. Because I you know, we talk about this a lot as well. And even and especially a lot of things we've gotten growth in the relationship because of how we deal with business. And so let me go a little further. When we are kind of dealing with, you know, something, and we'll say that if in business, if somebody is coming off at us a certain way, they could be 1,000% right, but we may not hear it because it sounds like an attack, you know. So when we in business, we try to have a conversation and not be necessarily, even though we mean what we say, and we need to handle this, and this is an important subject for us, you know. We want to come off where we're not attacking. She dealt with something recently, and you know, did not attack. And normally, the old Dr. Cash Vaughn would have attacked, and she didn't. And you know, end up calling me back. Hey, you should be proud of me because I handled this way. So that growth in our business has kind of, you know, went into our relationship as well to make sure that certain things we kind of just, you know, don't do. I know how she acts, or I know her thought process, you know, like I know her well. So I don't expect her to be different than what she is. She's consistent with what she is. So I can't get mad for her being her. You know what I mean? This is what we accept from each other. You understand what I'm saying? So it makes it, we've grown in business like that. You know, if we dealing with somebody with business and, you know, they tend to be, we know what they're going to do. If this guy's a liar, we know that this guy's going to lie on a regular basis. We ain't even mad because he's lying, because we already know that, you know, he or she is a lie. We know it already, so we ain't even surprised in the fact that they've told us a lie. Yo, we know you told us a lie, and we can deal with it. We can deal with it accordingly. We've had that happen recently as well, you know, and we can deal with things accordingly. What do you think, young lady?
I was just taking it all in, actually.
Right.
I was taking it all in.
I did have something for you ladies. I want to ask, social media, the effects and the influences on relationships because of social media. What is your take on that?
Oh Lord.
And I say that because we do know that social media is a highlight reel. You know, social media is not necessarily telling you, you don't get what we're giving right now. It is, you know, telling you, hey, we are not far from perfect, even though we try to give everybody food with this love and business on lock, but we're far from perfect, and this is what it is. And I think that draws people to us. But normally, most people give you the highlight reel on social media. You know, it's almost like somebody trying to go to the NFL. and they got a highlight film up, and it's all touchdowns and great plays, and they don't show the growth. They just show the highlights, the best part. So again, what effect do you think social media has on relationships?
The issue that I have with social media is that, I think that it takes the humanness out of people, especially with relationships. It's like you're dealing with a human that has ups and downs. And, I see the memes come across like, if he did this, then you should leave him. And it's like, well, there's a whole lot of, let's hear the details, because people have bad days in real life. Like, you're not going to meet, and I promise you, if you meet the person who has a good day every single day, they are lie, and it's going to fail. So, like, to me, it's like, I think that it makes people think, like you were saying, like, okay, everything is supposed to be great, and this is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what we're supposed to aspire to be. But the reality is, people on their worst days many times don't show that. And then the people that do show the worst days probably show the worst days every day, right? Because it's like that a lot. And then so this is another skewed version. And it's like, there's somewhere in the center. And I think that people have to really understand that, number one, social media, you don't get everything like you were saying. And then the other thing that I love and hate about social media at the same time is it shows you more of what you want to see. So if you are somebody who's engaged in toxic relationships, then you're going to have a whole real toxic relationship, and you're going to think that that's normal. And then, when the person says like, okay, you should accept somebody who's cheating on you because all men cheat, which I've seen on social media, it's like, that's not really a real thing. Like, there are some cheating men out here, let's be real, but that's not everybody. And that's not even the number one reason for people divorcing in real life. So, so it's just like, it's showing you more of what you want to see, and it's reinforcing your own thoughts. So I think that can be problematic, especially if you aren't knowledgeable about what's actually happening.
So real quick, I want to bounce, and ladies, I want you to still answer the social media question, but I want to ask you something, right? So I am one that I really work on having great days every day, right? Mm-hmm. And I really work on not giving anybody the power to change the complexity of the climate of my day. I don't want you to change the climate. I don't want to give you that much power. That I'm not always there, but that's the goal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And again, that's kind of really about the same thing. If I know somebody acts a certain way, so if I let them affect my day, then who's the fool? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that you're going to be argumentative, or I know you want to have something slick to say, or I know, so I shouldn't let that bother my day. But I really do try to have. It's funny because you were saying that, like, you can't have a good day every day, but I really do try to have. Really work on that, and I know that if something happens early, that still does not. It's gone. It's nothing I can do at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I trip or fall, I fell. Ain't nothing I can do about it now. I just gotta go on and have, continue on my day. I don't want to say, y'all hit my toe on the bed. It's gonna be one of them days. You say that, it's gonna be one of them damn days. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it really is. So I try my best to make sure that we don't utter those words. We say it's a good day. We speak things into existence. And energy is real. The things we say is real. What we put into the universe is real. So I try my best not to do that. No, I don't have the most amazing. Well, it's still an amazing day. Even though we didn't see eye to eye for a brief minute, we had a good day. We checked with each other. We worked on things, and so I try my best.
But I think that that's real life. I think that we should try our best, to have good days and not let the horrible things like bring us down. Like, we just went on vacation and my husband broke his foot. and on vacation. So it's like, we could allow that to just destroy the whole vacation, or continue to push through and have the best vacation we can based on these circumstances. So, we're not ignoring the circumstances, but we are still pushing to have a good day, but we're still acknowledging like that sucks, like that's but so I think that's real life. And the other thing you were talking about is like the influencing one another. And I think that that's true too. Like, who is going to be a horrible, like people who have their, like, they're not going to be truthful, and you prepare yourself for that because you know that that's what it's going to be. But, when you choose a partner, you also choose somebody who you're allowing to influence you on some level. So you're choosing somebody who is not going to try to drag you through the dirt and put you in a negative space too. So I think that that's why the selection process of your partner is so important, because that person has to be able to speak life into you and things of that nature, because they're going to influence you because of the proximity. Like if they're having a bad day, that's going to impact you as well. It might not make you have a horrible day, but it may make you feel like, okay, let me help my partner out. I see what's going on and I want to be the support and things like that. And that does influence the person that you're with. So, I think all the things that you said are true.
Right. Thank you.
I'm glad that you clarified the highlight reels, right? And sometimes how people might fall into the comparison, and if their relationship might not look like that, or why can't it look like that in comparison? But what was actually coming to my mind when we were initially talking about it was the people that use social media to then put their significant other on blast. And when you were talking about the how does social media affect the relationship, so that was and of course, my thoughts on that is that's a fail. That stuff is hard to take back. It's a big embarrassment, and if this is somebody that you care about and you love, not that you're fake and phony about we might be in a difficult place or we're not good all the time, but not to embarrass the other person or degrade them, So that's what initially had come to my mind. But definitely the highlight reels and comparing yourself, you don't know what's behind or what's on the other side of that highlight reel. So just try to work on what's going on in your individual relationship, and make that the best that you can make it, and get to know that person, not the person that's on the other side of the social media screen in their life.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. The comparison thing is problematic. And I think that that's what I find a lot, when you think about what social media does to people and how they feel about themselves, you do have a lot of people that are comparing themselves, their life to other people's lives and what they see or what they're allowing them to see on the internet. And so I think it impacts the relationship you have with yourself, but you're going to take that into your relationships as well. And so if you feel down on yourself, if you feel like there's, everyone else on the internet looks so much better than you, or they have the better life than you, and you're striving for what you see, then you have to ask yourself, are you ever really truly going to be happy?
Mm.
Right. And so if you're not, then, and you are comparing yourself to those images and things that probably aren't, real every day, then you're going to have that mindset in your relationship,
Right.
and you'll take that into your relationship, and you may even, try to start comparing your partner or your relationship, and it just will seep into your day to day with your partner.
Right. It's interesting going back to what Caroline was saying a few moments ago. One of the things that we pride ourselves in our relationship is we have friends. Well, we have a few friends.
It's funny. I swear, what I was going to say that she read my mind. Go ahead.
But if it's something going on between me and him, it's going on between me and him. I'm not telling my girlfriend. I ain't telling my sister. My brother's deceased. But I'm not telling anyone else, because at the end of the day, there's only one person who can fix that issue, and that's him. So what I'm never gonna do is, one, belittle him. Period. You know, Not in private, not in public. I'm just not. I wasn't raised that way. I'm not doing that, right? And then I always say everybody's business is nobody's business. So if everybody knows your business, then whose business is it? It's nobody. I'm not giving anybody anything to talk about us. We're not perfect. We tell people all the time, hey, we ain't perfect. But what you'll never know is what our imperfections are.
And, and I think that what we learned, and we learned this really recent. We learned this really recent. Um, Not to give an opinion if nobody asks for my opinion. You know, I'm just not. I mean, and not with the, even with us. If she comes to me and say, "Hey, what do you think?" If I have an opinion, I'm gonna give it to her. And that's my time. But for me, you know what I think, Cass? I'm just not going. I just, it doesn't work out with us. It won't work out with friends and family. Listen, I'm not here to give my, and then I'm the blame or we're the blame. They said y'all gave us this advice. No, I ain't. No.
If it does not affect my life or our life or bring me money, I have no opinion.
Right. 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 And that's helped us. That's helped us in the long run. Just not give everybody our opinion.
It's interesting because when we first started, we talked about how you want to go, how you want the flow of it, blase, blase, blase. And Jay told you, well, most podcasts we don't even realize that the time goes by. It's 8:53. And Jen. So that tells you great podcast. But before we leave, one thing because I know unfortunately Jay decided to put our business out there. So I'm gonna pull it back and I wanna if there was one specific question that I kind of sent over to you guys that I really do want to talk about. Not that it actually for us, the pandemic made our relationship better, right? So now that they're talking about, it seems like they're about to shut everything back down. What are some tips that you would give the couples on how to mentally deal with another shutdown?
Mentally deal with another shutdown. So I would say focus on some of the things that you liked the last time. Right? What were the things that really helped you guys to bond? And I know that some of the spreader type things are gonna, when those things close down again, that doesn't mean that there still aren't things to do, right? That doesn't mean that there still aren't new ways to get to know each other. So definitely focus on what you liked the last time. Anything new you might want to try or learn this time that's not, going to be a problem for you to catch anything. And look forward to doing something new and different if you can. Also, if you do have the ability to keep some level of a schedule while your day goes back into being indoors, try to do that. So if you're gonna have like a certain night that you have a certain type of dinner, then keep doing that. Have something to look forward to with each other for the next time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just go.
I like that.
Don't just go about it willy-nilly. Take that time.
Right. I like that.
And I would just add, just make sure that you have time for yourself. So you have time to unwind and do your own thing and make sure that you're good. And then you also have the couples time. And even if you do, like you were talking about, have the date nights, because we're all about date nights. You have date nights where you surprise each other. Like you might even get dressed up, be in separate rooms, just like doing things that keep stuff new and exciting in the relationship. And making time to have like meaningful conversations. So making time to actually get to know each other. And we grow so much every single day. We interact, even though we're in the pandemic, we still interact with new people and learn new things and that contributes to us changing on a regular basis. So it's really important to stay connected in the way of hearing each other's like growth. And so you might be asking, like we have some card games that we use where people ask questions that may delve into their childhood or may talk about like how they were thinking before versus how you're thinking now. So you can continue to learn each other on a regular basis. So.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with both of them, and I think also just keep in mind being proactive is an important way to just go about dealing with this. We don't always know what to expect, and it's not normal, being locked in your house all day every day. So, but just try to maybe think about some things that you want to do and that you want to try to do together. Um, and just kind of look at it from a place of, like you said, the pandemic actually brought you both closer together. A lot of people may not look at it like that, but that is a good perspective to have. Like, what have you learned from being on lockdown over the last year and a half? What are you grateful for? What are some of the things that occurred as a result of being on lockdown, and now you're appreciative of? And so focusing on the things that the pandemic taught us, and that we can continue to keep our eyes open and learn from.
I just want to add one more thing. And if y'all are not friends and things are not going good, I would say get help sooner than later, because you think about the pandemic, if it speeds things up, it makes you feel like a month might feel like a year. So I would definitely like have a third party. Counselors are definitely doing virtual counseling and that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's no need to sit in frustration and toxicity. It's not going to be helpful for the relationship or each individual person.
Right. Yeah, because you will find out how close you are to your partner when that happens. You're used to, 9 times out of 10, you're out the house for 8 to 10 hours a day out of a 24-hour day. And it could be more. I mean, even with your kids, you get to know your kids a little more better during the pandemic. Little Bobby was getting in trouble, and then you defended little Bobby to the teacher and the principal and everything. And little Bobby ass is in your house every day, and he don't have nowhere to go. And you can really see the fact that the teacher and the principal opinion of little Bobby was pretty much spot on. So you learn a lot in that pandemic, and you learn the things you like, the things you don't like in the pandemic. And actually, I'm not. If they shut us down again, that's a great thing. I'll save more money during the shutdown. So it is. We got better. Business got better, and we came up with more ideas. You actually should probably be better coming out of the pandemic than you were before you went in. You really should be. But that is it for us. We do appreciate you, ladies. Thank you so much for
spending
Hump Day with us. We greatly, really do appreciate it. And this went really fast. So this was a good one. I didn't realize we talked that long. That's how I can tell. I'm telling you.
Yes, we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, that's how I can tell.
Thanks for having us.
If it's anything you want everybody to know, how to find you, how they can, really follow the movement, this is your time to let them know, please.
So you guys can follow us on Instagram at relationship_boosters, and stay tuned for our Black Marriage Week of 2022. Is that? Oh, yeah. Stay tuned for that.
Nice.
But again, thank you so much. What you got, baby?
Sorry,
you got that call.
No, I think no, I'm thanking. What I want to say is thank you again, ladies. We really appreciate you all. What I'm excited about is that in 2 weeks, we decided to do a pop-up, and we're going to do it in the DMV, so I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it offline. We're going to do a Love Business on Lock pop-up.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking to the singles about how to prepare yourself, and we're going to be talking to the couples about how to keep it relevant, And so 4 hours, 12 to 4, secret location, only a few individuals. Um, the event bright is up. So, I'm really excited about that. That's August the 28th. And we do not have a show on Friday because my beloved will not be here.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot.
I'm like,
I don't know my schedule.
I'm
She
looking like,
tell me where to be. I just, in the words of Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I don't get fired.
Uh-uh.
I'm glad you got her. I'm glad you
Just here
got
so
her.
I don't get fired. That's it. All right. So again, thank you so much. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. And we are firm believers that really watch your circle, watch the people that you keep around you because you pick up the habits of the closest people around you. So really make sure and hold that circle sacred. With that being said, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We do need you guys to hold on for a second. Once we go out, we'll end the show and then we'll talk to you guys offline. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.